Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Morning Meta. I am yours truly, Travis Spencer.
And I'm Camilla Crawley.
Camilla, it is time for our guest speaker this week.
Yes, I'm so excited because this will be our first time doing our conversation with those that are in the community doing wonderful work.
Yes, the
And
light work.
yes, definitely. So today, our guest is Aisha Ali. And before we get into talking with Aisha, just wanted to remind everybody about our themes for the season. So we're really leaning into the autumn fall equinox, and our themes are balance and duality, gratitude and harvest, and letting go.
Mm,
Yes, yes.
all right. So I would like to say I have the wonderful privilege of knowing Aisha much longer than a decade now. It's actually, I think it's close to 15 years now we've been knowing each other. And I met her a long time ago when I was beginning this path and this journey. And she has been an inspiration to me, and she has been a mentor, teacher, and friend. So, Aisha, how are you?
I am feeling just excited about this new model you're presenting to the world, and I feel great, or as they used to say, blessed and highly favored.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't know if you want to do all of the introductions because Aisha, I feel that you are a master of many things. So you not only are a mindfulness and meditation teacher and facilitator, but also an artist, former educator as well. Would I be correct in all of those different hats that you've
Yes,
worn?
yes, a performer, a poet, troublemaker, good trouble, hopefully. And yeah, thank you. Yes, yes. I think the thing that resonates is uh, community builder.
Mm,
Mhm.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it's something we definitely need in these times, that building of community, you know, to quote you, that
Yeah.
calling people in. Yes, absolutely. So I would like to invite you, Aisha, if you don't mind, to share with the audience your origin story, if you will.
Oh boy, I feel like you've invited me into the Marvel universe, or in this case, the marvelous universe.
Yes.
My origin story, as I entered this practice, is like a lot of people. It's under duress and tried all the stuff I know to do, and that wasn't working. And the gift of when you, and at least when I hit that bottom, as they call it, it's like, okay, so there's a curiosity that opens up. And my curiosity took me to metros, a bus, and a walk into a mindfulness space on the other side of town. I was in the Soweto part of town, but the gift of that you're energized by pain and curiosity, you'll take a trek. So I went to the Johannesburg part of town, and that's where I began my mindfulness journey in a yoga studio where I learned how to catch my breath. And then once I caught it, I was present to it. And that has led to this moment.
Mm. Well, I definitely can resonate with coming into the practice from that place. But I'm curious. So you came into the practice, and then what led you to actually becoming a teacher and facilitator of this practice?
Mm, thank you. Well, as any person that enters something new, you accept whatever you're presented with, and particularly when it gives you results. But I reached a place over time when And as I deepened my practice, that this what I was given was good, but it was not sufficient for my life, for the life I had lived, and for the circumstances, the material circumstances of my life, and the deep, what I believe is the spiritual majesty of Black people.
mm,
It did not take that in. Yeah, and I was very interested in connecting the Dharma of my lineage to the practices that I had been introduced to. And I didn't see that happening anywhere. Also, there was a unstated but very prevalent culture within the mindfulness community that also did not resonate with my voice, with my language, with, yeah, how I do, and generally, from my perspective, how we do.
mhm,
So that is what brought me on this teaching path. Yes, because I wanted to offer
mhm,
uh, that calling in of what Martin Luther King Jr. says, a goal, not just a sit, but a goal, which is to create a beloved community.
mhm. Yes, yes. And that to me that resonates to with Thich Nhat Hanh sharing that the next Buddha may be community. You
Mhm.
know, so I'm really feeling what you're saying. Um, so let me ask you in a minute. I know that you're going to share some wisdom with us, um, but my question is that as you're walking this journey, what are you finding um, that is most supportive to Black folks about this journey that you're on? What do you think can support them as we heal?
Hmm. Well, first of all, I think it's crucial for us to understand how marvelous we are. I didn't say we were perfect, but we are marvelous. We have been in for centuries under an explicit system that would seek to destroy our hearts, and in ways that we often do not recognize, particularly on a daily basis, how we are moving in courage and faith and power. And to take the shame of whatever our circumstances are and know that's not real, and embrace the fact that, yeah, we, as the kids say, we not new to this, we true to this.
Mhm,
So mindfulness is simply an awareness of what we are true to, which is that regardless of our struggles and situations, that we are marvelous individually and collectively.
Ashe, Ashe,
Ashe, yes. Let's just
yes.
take a few seconds to marinate on that.
Mhm.
I love it. Love it. Whew.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we would like to open up the floor for you to just share whatever's arising for you. We're
Mm.
here to learn and to listen.
Oh, thank you so much again for this opportunity, because this, what I am offering from this stage, I'll tell y'all, I'm 72, whoop, whoop. And in this culture, we often are in situations and also encouraged by the culture not to be, speaking to each other through the generations. And I will say there are a lot of places where my voice would not be welcomed because of age, and but even because of the training that, we got to stay with the new. So I just want to appreciate you both for calling me in. What do I want to share? One of my attributions is shameless majesty, because shame is such a powerful tool for personal and collective oppression. That comparing mind that wants us to see ourselves and each other in deficit. So I want to come in with connecting to shamelessness. Because for me, and I think sort of the theme of what I want to share is staying woke. But if I am ashamed, I want to close my eyes and not see what I see and not know what I know. And so choosing shamelessness as a path to awareness, I think, is crucial. No matter what it is, no matter, what a wreck, whatever, yes, this is happening to me. I got toilet paper on my shoe, I'm tore up from the ground up. Yeah, yes. And to look at whatever that is and go, yes. And the people and the places that are for us will say, well, darling, you want me to remove that toilet paper? What can I do? But of course, we have to do that for ourselves first, right? I see the toilet paper. I see, yeah, I haven't been able to get out of bed, or I'm doing way too much and waiting for somebody to notice and applaud me for doing too much and getting sick because I did too much. We first have to stay woke to ourselves and the truth that nothing is wrong with us. So often in this culture, there is an assumption, maybe it's English that was thrown down our throat, but the assumption that awareness, if I become aware, I need to be aware of my wrongness,
Mm, mm,
you know, which takes me outside of my body. This is an embodied practice. It's not a disembodied practice, right? Sati is awareness. It's not thankfulness. And thankfulness is where, in my experience, so much shame comes from. I'm thinking, I'm looking, I'm comparing. Oh, I'm not up to par, whatever par means. I'm not up to this. It's that constant effort to see lack instead of where there is plenty. Staying woke, it's interesting for me that it's become an epithet. The people that want to oppress us tell us, oh, yeah, that wokeness. And
mhm,
then we react to the language, their weaponization of a word that we created in liberation. So then we stop using that term because they have power. I've been curious to see that, oh no, I'm not trying to stay woke. I think what you want me to be unconscious. I mean, I guess that's what you want me to be. You want me to be unconscious. Not sleep. You don't want me to rest. You want me to be unconscious. And so I believe it is crucial for us, given that our language was stolen, our languages were stolen because we come from many ethnic groups. But to remember, we take poison and make it medicine. That's our superpower that nobody can understand about us. It's like, why are you still here? Why you we did this and we did that and we showed you you did this wrong and you did that wrong and you got that F and failed, or you got that A and failed. Why y'all still here? Because our gift is we turn poison into medicine. And that medicine was stay woke. Because at our best, we don't fall into the binary. We don't fall into the delusion of this or that. What we do is the blues is a perfect expression of our genius. I'm crying and I'm making a song about it. In Buddhism, they call that umpeka, but that's deep wisdom, equanimity. We be walking around equanimous all the time because we stay woke. Somebody's hollering and a child is smiling and laughing. The other part I just want to add, because often impermanence is rooted in, oh, it's going to get bad. Oh, don't be too happy. But again, our genius that I was blessed to be transmitted to is don't let nobody steal your joy. Not happy. Happy is what had happened was. But joy is, I woke up this morning and some people went to sleep last night, didn't wake up this morning. In this culture, they call that being a Pollyanna. But that's one of our gifts. That's one of our survival strategies. So staying woke to, yes, the tragedies are here. We, in this moment where orange and delusional people are saying, look what I did. And when we connect to our magnificent history of resilience and power, we can look up and say, I know you've been doing. That's the thing about that kind of activity. It's not creative. You just evil is not creative. So yeah, we can check in to see the address of the delusion, but we know the city. We built the city. So that's the thing, is choosing to stay woke, not letting the people that stole our languages try to define our genius and cripple it. Hmm.
Yeah. Say Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe.
Yes.
Powerful.
Mm,
And still just taking it all in.
mhm,
Yeah.
Oh, and balance. I did. You mentioned balance.
mhm,
Uh, we are balanced. That is the balance. That is this time of the transition might be an excellent time to ask, you know, mom and them some questions, whether they're here or not here, uh, to connect more deeply into the wisdom of our lives, not our traumas, not our misfortunes. Because the fact of our presence in the moment says we did some stuff.
mhm,
We did some beautiful stuff,
mhm,
and not allow ourselves to be hooked into what went wrong.
Mhm.
I was speaking to some ladies in the shelter, and I have been lived in the shelter. And one teacher, not us, was saying, oh, you're in the shelter. And I had to say, do you know how many great things you need to do to make it to the shelter? How many powerful decisions you need to do? to get to the shelter. So that is what I'm calling in this moment, that we use this time. Notice the changing leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Notice, are the trees saying, "Oh no, they this is life." That is our genius of being present to what is without the story of what's wrong.
Mm,
So that's what, yeah, I think that's what I want to share this morning.
Mm-hmm.
mm, mm.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
I, Aisha, yeah, yeah. That's all I can say is yeah to
Right.
that. Yeah.
Amen, Ashe, all the
Hmm.
things.
Yes. Yep.
hmm I just want to say I really appreciate you centering in on that piece around focusing on, for lack of a better way of putting it, what's right instead of what's wrong, especially when it comes to this practice. Because I think that there are quite a few people that come into the practice from that place of suffering and things like that. It's so easy to slide right into like, okay, everything that's wrong, everything that's a problem,
Mm-hmm.
and what you're saying is that this really, what I'm interpreting anyway, is that this is really just about remembering,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yes,
know, remembering who we are at our essence, and in particular for people of African heritage, that essence really being just magical, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I just so appreciate that because I think that's one of the key things that comes up so much when people start to come into the practice or even just awareness. They start to just really center in on, like, okay, so now I got to figure out how to fix all the problems, what's wrong with me. And it's just like, no, this is about memory,
Mm-hmm.
going back to that essence that you spoke on. So I just love it. And I'm really hoping people um, will lean into that and sit with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, Aisha, what comes to mind is Camilla and I have had um, conversations about healing center practices. Sean Genwright has talked a lot about healing center practices. And the essence of what I understand from what Sean Genwright has spoken about is instead of focusing on what is wrong, you focus on what is right and building on that, and that includes the culture and that includes spirituality, you know, and it includes your community.
yes,
So um, I, for Morning Meta, as this programming that we're doing, I think that you've really touched to to me what this has been about.
Hmm.
This is all about coming in, being able to remember, as Camilla spoke about, and also being able to be in community to support your own personal spiritual evolution and physiological evolution too, as it means to get healthy or to recover for those who are on their path to health and recovery. You know, so thank you.
Yeah. And speaking about that, Aisha, I know oftentimes, like when even we're listening to things and we're hearing people share so much wisdom, sometimes in my mind, I'm like, oh, that sounds so wonderful. And then
Hmm.
I think about people listening and then they say, that sounds great. But then they might be thinking like, okay, but how? So when we talk about this, remembering our essence, focusing on like the possibilities instead of the problems, what do you think is maybe a way that people can begin to lean into that, remembering of their magicalness and um, their sort of natural divinity and things like that?
Hmm.
Because I know some people might be asking, I want to do that, but how?
Mm, I will share that the power of this practice is to support the spaciousness to move into that.
Mm,
Because if you think something is wrong with you, not actions, but that there is some, I call for me that tar self, that sticky, gooey, yucky, uh, then one of the gifts that Thich Nhat Hanh offered a teaching was around caring for it, right? As you would an infant. What supported me, and I have told this to people over the years, get a picture of yourself, maybe a baby picture, or you at your fifth birthday party or whatever. And when those thoughts come up, the what's wrong and the you what's wrong, look at that and say, does that baby, is that supporting that? Are you supporting him or her or them? And allowing that just to entry, that baby, yeah, this adult did this and this, but that baby didn't do that. Don't hurt the baby. Don't, because the baby is still here. The little girl, the little boy, that person, don't hurt them. They didn't deserve it. Perhaps you grew up in a situation where your name was an epithet, or the best you had was to stay out the way, because oppression is not sexy. And when people going through things, they hurt themselves and each other. But if we can move through not who did what, but take care of the baby. And in that spaciousness, there can be a space to realize that nothing wrong. It's just like change the diaper. You're gonna change the baby. That's the baby's not stinky. That's just a byproduct. So in that, begin to connect to babies are sweet. And maybe through discovering your own sweetness, you can discover it never left. We still sweet. I reconnected with my sweetness much later in life, but it had never left. That's why mindfulness is so important, because it's remembering, like Camilla said. I've stumbled into a word, amnesis. I may be pronouncing it right. It's the loss of forgetfulness. And that's what I believe can allow the spaciousness to discover what Patti LaBelle said. I've been looking around and you were here all the time.
Yeah.
yeah.
Ashe.
Mhm. Um,
Mm,
another, but I want to let, in
Oh,
case you have any more reflections, I want to
no,
get
go
in
ahead.
there
You go
after
ahead.
you.
No, you can go ahead.
Um,
Yeah.
the other, the other part of your wisdom share that really struck me was what you said about um, woke, the word woke, and you talking about how it's been weaponized and demonized. And just want to say again, just really appreciate you sharing around around that as well. So stay woke again. I'm always thinking about, in terms of supporting people, what it can, what are the possibilities, right? In terms of what it could look like. So again, with stay woke, what would you say that could possibly look like for, I would say, our community in
Mm-hmm.
particular?
yeah, yeah. Well, what I have called in, see, the internet is a marvelous tool, but in this moment, we need to be connecting with people in our lives.
Mhm.
Stay woke. I have called in here in Baltimore in my little community. We get together and talk about, in fact, we just went to a group Costco run. you know, getting back to the grits and groceries, the rent parties, the things that we will need going forward. Because all of this, what you're calling in, what I'm calling in, is the capacity to work the muscle that I grew up with, is having, not waiting to invite people in until I get everything perfect or cleaned up. We've got to meet each other in our truth, and that means in our imperfection, which is delusion, because there is no perfection. But what I've called in is we get together and talk about, we eat. I have people at the house for rice and beans. I, we talk about if the electricity goes out, what we gonna do. Who's got what? You got batteries, I've got, to begin to have conversations, not just sort of these that come out of privilege, right? Because a lot of, we've been trained, particularly if we've run through a classroom or two. Okay, I've done this, and I can have deep intellectual conversations, but I can't talk about, I need to go to the store. Do you need something at the store? To begin to connect our physical well-being to our spiritual connections, which is what we do. But we have run out, and particularly COVID for many of us. Uh, we found out some unpleasant things about people maybe we thought we could trust, or we found out that we, have a lot of anxiety about connecting. So, as best you can, there are, we have places to meet. We'll talk about that later in terms of, come, but come to the places that speak to your heart and your voice. Resources are limited for me, I think for most of us. Okay. So perhaps interrogate around your journey into mindfulness. Two amazing teachers have brought this forward. I teach, because there is a culture of mindfulness that will tell you you did something wrong. And you're going to learn about, but I am encouraging everyone who's listening to connect through morning meta. Send Travis and Camilla a link. What y'all doing? Maybe what I'm doing in person, because we need to know who our grits and grocery people are right now. There are people, we're amazing. I know why the people want to be around us. And we need reciprocity. And reciprocity includes connecting with people that, again, in the culture I grew up with, will help you and talk crap about you at the same time. It's like, you know, I told you not to, but come on, I'm gonna do it. Or you need $5. I didn't have no hundreds for you. But if you need $5, we need to begin to reconnect to, that's to develop that discernment, because so much of what I see is people trying to do legal work, agreements, and you're going to sign the contract. And that never works. Human beings, we're going to do what we do. I'm not talking about not setting a container of care, but there's no container of safety, because human beings aren't safe. We're marvelous, we're horrible, stuff is going to happen. But as we develop that capacity to be together, take the bus, take the train, like I did, and the bus, and walk over. Although I'm still in the Soweto part of town, so might not have to take too many buses and trains. But that's the thing, to make to be devoted to your joy and your freedom, even when it's scary.
Yeah.
Even because that's where discernment happens. It does not happen when you're trying to, I'm going to go to a place with 37 agreements, and everybody's going to talk like they're a yoga teacher. And we're not going to step on it. This is how it works. And I use this all the time. If those of you who have been in the kitchen with a bunch of people, stuff be happening. and you're cutting onions or whatever, and the knife slips or the onion goes in somebody's eyes, and that's not harm. That's because we together. And in this moment, it is crucial that we develop the discernment to understand the difference between we was cooking and a knife slipped, and somebody took a knife and or stomped on my foot on purpose or cut me on purpose, because that is a fragility that is not part of our culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I am encouraging us not to, again, because assimilation, you can assimilate into that model, but we come from a very hardy tradition and a and a tradition of discernment. And it is in that discernment that we can be in community. And that is crucial right now. We didn't get to sit in the anywhere we wanted to on the bus and the train because we didn't hang together. We practiced real hard and then we individually decided to do that. We did it because of people who loved each other but occasionally did not like each other, was cooking and making dinners and selling dinners and looking crazy at what so and so put in her potato salad or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. This is, but it is that, and it's there, it's there, and not be seduced into fragility and be seduced into the idea of perfection that keeps us separated. I've known people for years, never been at their house. If you don't feel like you can have people at your spot without you redoing your spot, that's a point of discernment and inquiry, either about yourself or about the people that you call in your friends. So that's yeah. It's taking a chance again and again. I define trust as, let's see, we grown. Let's keep the grown part. Okay. We have been through stuff, so let's not come in. Nobody's going to like me. People haven't been liking us.
Mm-hmm.
Take a chance. Well, they might be after something. Well, you had been after something, and we've been tricked and fooled, and that's how you get to this age. You've been being loved, and we've been tricked. Take the wisdom of that and keep trying, because we here. Travis and Kamala's here. I'm here. Other people, we out here. We not on CNN. We not on MSNBC.
Mm-hmm.
We might be across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Take the chance. Stay woke
Mm-hmm.
equals just taking the chance to keep yourself woke, eyes open to see what's going to unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Take the chance. I love it.
Yeah. I think, Aisha, what came to mind for me is that um, you spoke about taking a chance, and that to me feels like spiritual partnership. Committing to growing with one another.
Mhm.
The a basic definition of spiritual partnership is being able to see someone else as an equal, and then them supporting you and you supporting them in your spiritual growth. You know,
Mhm.
so I,
Mhm.
I think that as we build community, that has to be at the center of it. Is we are we are accepting one another as we are. We're equal. Now let's grow together. And to your point, there are going to be times when we don't get along, and there's going to be conflict and disagreement, but also there's going to be loving community, and there's going to be opportunities for joy, laughter, and humor, and all of those things that come with being in community. So yeah, I'm feeling what you're saying. Absolutely.
Mhm. This is really just divine in terms of like
Hmm.
fitting right into what's coming up for me, that duality. Everything is one side of the coin, right?
Hmm.
So you've talked about joy and the pain, but it's the same coin,
Hmm.
it's not one or the other. And what you're talking about too with community, it is the spiritual partnership, but it's also the conflict that is bound to come up as well. But it's the
Hmm.
same coin, not one or the other.
Yeah.
That duality is there. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, one last thing just came to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you mentioned conflict. To me, conflict is always an opportunity to grow closer. You
Yes.
know, it's not designed to separate.
Yes.
It's really to support you in growing closer.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
So,
And I just want to share, I'm just thinking of mom and them, how I grew up. One part of that hardiness is to know what we might want to discuss and what we're going to let go.
Yeah.
Everything is not an opportunity to have a 3-hour mediation because when the love is there, the side eye is there too.
hmm.
So, I have people in my spaces where, they come in as a wreck and you end up with performance rather than practice.
Mm.
Mm.
And that's so important. But first, again, to have community, we connected over time. It's not a drop in.
Hmm.
And some mindfulness spaces, I mean, that's beautiful, drop in spaces, but you gotta give it a chance, to work
Yeah.
for you, particularly if it's resonating,
Hmm.
you know, and that's the thing. Everything is not, we've been, particularly those of us who've run through a classroom, we've been given these metrics of how it's really a perfection. It's not the kitchen I grew up in watching people laugh and argue. It's this very dedicated space where nothing bad happens because we have a practice. And your point, Travis, is crucial. When there's when there's a disagreement, whatever, it can be an opportunity to say, "I love you. Go ahead. I'm just not gonna maybe, I see you put too much salt in the potato salad, but okay.
Hmm.
But or it can be let's talk because we care about each other. So the love is there. So it's just, did I hurt you? Did I hurt you? Yeah, baby, you hurt me. Okay, and that deepens the love.
Hmm.
So we can tolerate the next time you irritate me and get on my nerves.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
So I really want to call that in because people have weaponized harm. And as a person that's been in the Soweto world, I'm going, what y'all talking about? You know,
Hmm.
nobody was harmed. You got on each other's nerves. That's what I saw.
Hmm.
But again, stuff gets weaponized.
Yes. Yes.
And they'll pull us into that definition. And we need each other too much. Okay.
Hmm.
We need each other too much to be playing them kind of games.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Whether your material life is fine and all of that, you still may need to come over and lay down someplace else because maybe your place is too perfect.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So I really want to call that in because we would it's not the community that's often offered is an association. And I'll end with this. Don't ask an older black woman about nothing because we know we're gonna go long. Uh, but I had a friend, Lorena, uh, 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 and a Latin teacher, and she was trying to explain something to me. But this is what I got out of our conversation. This is association. Okay, you can do a lot of good things. It's like work. We have a mission and da 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 da. Okay, we can do a lot of good things. This is community. We're touching. I know maybe that you have a farting issue. Uh, you know, you'll know that, I be sucking my teeth at NFL or I chew with my mouth, whatever it is. But We want people, I'm watching people who want community but don't want to be known.
Mm,
Mm,
And that's not a, that's, you can't do that. You can, and look, if where you are is association, nothing is wrong with that. But don't call association community
mm,
and then have community expectations when you know
mhm,
it's like this. And that's, now I have seen real harm done with not understanding the difference. You
mhm,
can't get community benefits if you want association, uh you know distance.
mhm. That's true. Yes. Yeah. Mm.
wow.
Yeah, I think this was a wonderful conversation. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Aisha, before we do our wrap up, we want to invite you to share with the audience in the community um, places where you're teaching, the communities that you hold, um, and yeah, whatever you would like to share with us.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, first, I'd like to share the Heart Refuge community of Washington, D.C., that I co founded with Rashid Hughes, an amazing young brother, my Dharma son. And You can find us on the interwebs, and really stay posted because we're coming up with some in person things
Mm,
in the next little while. And we also meet online Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. So that's happening. Heart With is an all inclusive space, but I'm in the front of the room. So and I don't code switch. So what you hear here is what you'll hear there. Um, and that also Heart With Mindfulness, heartwith.com, I think it's what's on the internet. And but we have an amazing sister that does um, we art jamming art for people of color, and it's Black people. Come on, so please, if you feel like you want to have, she just does amazing stuff, and that meets the second and fourth Sundays. But you can find that on Heart With under resources. I am blessed to also be teaching with Travis, Camilla, at the IMCW mindfulness BIPOC community. That's a rotating teacher base, but we're often there in one form or another, cheering on the other teacher as best we can if we're not the ones teaching. And in Baltimore, I am at Creative Alliance every other month. Creative Alliance is yeah, it's near Patterson Park. It's right across the street really from Patterson Park. And I'm there. I toggle with a sister from Peru, and I'll be there in November. So one of many things. But if you're in Baltimore, I'm trying to get in-person stuff, and and invite you to my space. I'll do some beans and rice and collard greens.
okay.
For you. But yeah, so basically, y'all, I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place.
That's nice. Yes.
Yeah.
And then we can also send out all of that
Mhm,
information to everyone that's watching as well.
mhm. Yeah, and for those who are watching and you haven't signed up for our um, YouTube page, please like and subscribe there. And we have weekly or newsletters that are going out. So we're building that up as well. So um, if you're reaching us on our website, you can go in and subscribe, and you'll receive when Aisha is teaching. We'll have that in our newsletters, and we'll put it on the websites and social media as well. So,
And is there a way for anyone to like send us questions that we could then send to Aisha?
oh yeah, absolutely. So if you have any questions about what um, any of the topics that we discussed today, you can put your question in the comment. We'll forward them to Aisha, and Aisha will get back to you. Yeah, that'll be okay, Aisha.
That would be wonderful.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
This is so
Hmm.
wonderful, and for me it just filled my cup just listening to you today,
Yes, yes.
Aisha. So just much appreciation for you and what you bring to all of us.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
all right. So, any final words?
Well, I think that's it for today. Everyone out there that's watching and listening, stay with us as we begin each day grounded, intentional, and connected. So, as always, we say to that,
Ashe.
Ashe.